Let's move to the Pride Proclamation Month. Councillor Campbell.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I cannot. I sure will. Wow. That's an abrupt change of tone. I get to change us over to a delightful proclamation now, Mr. Mayor. We are voting to accept a Pride Month proclamation. Shall we vote first?
Yes, so,
Hey, great.
and I'll second your motion.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any against? Seeing none, the motion carries unanimously.
Oh, I am just delighted to be honored to give this declaration today. And in fact, it is such an honor that our Mayor Pro Tem said to me, "Hey, can I help?" And I said, "Of course you can." And so we are going to read this proclamation together. And it goes like this. Whereas in 2004, the City of Bend passed NS 1926, an ordinance protecting the equal rights of all citizens of Bend.
And whereas in doing so, the City of Bend stated that discrimination against members of our community will not be tolerated.
And whereas such discrimination threatens not only the rights and privileges of Bend citizens, but menaces the institutions and the foundation of our community.
And whereas Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Pride Month commemorates the events of June 1969 and works to achieve equal justice and equal opportunity for LGBT Americans.
And whereas in June of 1969, patrons and supporters of the Stonewall Inn in New York City staged an uprising to resist the police harassment and persecution to which LGBT Americans were commonly subjected. This uprising marks the beginning of a movement to outlaw discriminatory laws and practices against LGBT Americans.
Now, therefore, the City Council of Bend, Oregon hereby proclaims June 28th to be Pride Month in the City of Bend and encourages all residents to join in this observance.
So we are fortunate enough this evening to have representatives of a number of different groups here with us. I made arrangements that a couple of those representatives will be speaking, but I was hoping we could get everybody who's here to stand or just raise your hand. So if you are with a GSA, that is a Gay Straight Alliance at your school, how about stand up or raise your hand? Fantastic. If you are here with Out Central Oregon, how about you raise your hand or stand up? Thank you so much. How about the Human Dignity Coalition? If you're here with the Human Dignity Coalition, if you'd like to raise your hand or stand up. And then how about just anybody who came to support this community and be with us here today for this joyous proclamation? Nice. Fantastic. So I think at this point, we're going to get a picture, and Trish with the Human Dignity Coalition will speak to us about the Pride Festival. The Human Dignity Coalition is the organization that hosts the Pride Festival. And then we also have with us here today, Jamie from Out Central Oregon, and Jamie will tell us about the events that Out Central Oregon is doing this month for Pride Month. So how about pictures first, Sally?
And so now the garment.
Pictures. What are we going to do?
I like your dress, Barb.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's still on there.
I'd like to say a few minutes of your words first?
Yeah,
Come on
absolutely.
up. Here you are. Thank you so
And
much.
I want to let everybody know, too, that when we brought this up, it was for all of our great organizations. There's a lot of volunteer work going on behind the scenes in the community who aren't funded, aren't paid. OCO, PFLAG, Human Dignity Coalition, the Central Oregon GSA program, as well as, various high school programs. So it's more about all of us. I appreciate all their work. I was a kid from this community, so this is a good day. So about Pride, this is going to be our 14th Pride celebration in Drake Park. We're going to have Hit Machine, Goddess, Sam Tolson from Ohio. We're going to have Buck Angel leading a dignity march for us because we've, had some issues getting past things, and it's just been issues. But it's going to be a great month of celebration. We've done a lot of things. We love everybody. So our outreach isn't just the LGBTQ community. We're doing a drive for feminine products for some of the rural communities. So all this humanitarian effort that we've put in, we really appreciate that you recognize it. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, and I do hope that you guys, come and join us for Pride.
When is the date again?
June 23rd. Yeah, it starts at 12 o'clock. The Dignity March is going to be, we're going to meet around 10:30, and we're going to march to the event. And then we're all going to have a moment of silence there for people affected by suicide and gun violence. And yeah, we'll continue to celebrate after that.
Great. Thank you very much.
Great.
And Mr. Mayor, this is Jamie from Out Central Oregon. He was going to speak for just another minute also. Thank you.
This will be quick. I first want to acknowledge and thank the City Council of Bend for the proclamation of Pride Month. That speaks really well as an LGBTQ member, and I thank you. I also want to thank Human Dignity Coalition, Trish and Amanda, and Jamie, the president in particular, for working with the city to make sure that Pride Month got proclaimed, basically. My name is Jamie Nesbitt. I'm president of Out Central Oregon. We're a relatively newly formed 501c3 here in Bend. We have a lot of things that we've been going on that I'm going to briefly touch on a few things specific to Pride Month, but I don't know if any of you know, but we had partnered back in February for the first ever LGBTQ ski weekend at Mount Bachelor. And we're planning to do the same for February of 2019. So a little side plug there. Let me tell you what we have going on. We partnered with the Department of Deschutes County Public Health. We brought HIV testing to Pride last year for the first time in many years. And that instigated their interest in applying for a grant from the state of Oregon, of which they won $1.5 million for HIV early intervention and prevention. Wow. With that, they got an outreach van. Last Saturday night, we screened the movie We Were Here, which is an Emmy-nominated documentary that really brought the light of the HIV epidemic in San Francisco in the early 80s. We were really fortunate to have the director of that movie, David Weissman, present for a question and answer period afterward. In addition, Deschutes County Health was present with their outreach van to talk about the HIV outreach services that they're providing. This van is going to go to Deschutes, Cook, and Jefferson counties. It's really a milestone for Central Oregon. We should all be proud of that. Now for the fun stuff. In addition to that, we have a number of opportunities going on throughout the month. We've partnered with Oregon for what we're calling Pride Fest, a month-long celebration of pride in our diversity. Tomorrow night, 10 Barrel is launching their first ever Pride beer called LGBTQIPA. If some of you get the humor in that, good for you. They're launching it tomorrow night at their East Side place, 6 to 7 o'clock. I can't remember quite what, but they'll make that beer available to a number of different organizations or businesses throughout the month here in Bend. We're also sponsoring a drag workshop next Sunday, and the reason for this is because during Pride Day on June 23rd, we're also going to have a drag workshop where youth and teen can come and express their creativity through drag. So our workshop on Sunday at Urban Beauty Bar here in Bend is to kind of get our more developed queens, if you will, to learn the techniques of drag and then be able to showcase that for the youth during Pride Day. For the last year, we've sponsored, along with Dogwood Cocktail Cabin, a monthly Oh Yes celebration. It's the third Thursday of every month. Dogwood has informed us the number of people that show up, which is typically 60, exceeds a typical Saturday night. So we're bringing business. LGBT people have money, everybody, and we spend it. The weekend of June 16 and 17, we're sponsoring a camping trip up at Elk Lake. PFLAG is also having a picnic there. And Saturday night after Pride, so Saturday night on June 23rd, we're sponsoring Hey Honey. This is our fourth Hey Honey. It's basically a dance party at Domino Room in downtown Bend. Again, not to bring up the money, but you guys are part of the city council. Money is important. Dogwood, at our last event, which is in association with the Mount Bachelor Pride Weekend, took in more money than they ever have on a Saturday night in the annex room. So we're pretty proud of that. So that's happening on Saturday night, the 23rd. And then on Sunday, the 24th, the day after Pride Festival, Beth Lynn's Global Fusion is sponsoring a big gay brunch, and we hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
For the youth in the community.
Yeah, if you could, a minute or two, just to keep us moving, if that's all right. Of course. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hi. Thank you all so much for addressing what has been an immense issue for a lot of people in this community. Being a student representative and a student advocate on my campus, I've interacted with a lot of people, not only folks who are born and raised in this community, but also folks that have come in from smaller rural communities that are looking to have a different experience in Bend. And I think that setting this standard, not just for Bend, but also just for Central Oregon, by going out of our way as, you know, as your city council and as our community, to set this standard, not only makes a very clear and present statement to students that are coming into this community, that want to potentially stay here and feed into this community and build this wonderful place that we all love to live in. But also by extension, it shows folks in Oregon and just all around this side of the country that Bend is taking initiative to hold to our ideals and hold to our vision for what we want this community to look like, which is a place of diversity and inclusion. And I really appreciate the follow through on the part of our elected leadership. And it just really, as a student, it makes me feel glad to be a part of this community. And it does a lot for, I think I can speak for students at large, at least on my campus. It shows us a vision for our future in this community, not just as citizens of Bend, but also as members of the LGBTQ community. So I thank you for your time today.
And I think, are you the new president of COCC Student Government? Is that right?
I am.
Congratulations. And having met a few times, I look forward to seeing you on ballots.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, the last person I might mention is another elected official. John Mundy serves on the COCC board with our own Councillor Abernathy and is kind enough to have come in today for our proclamation. I don't think he wants to say anything.
You have to come up here if you got
Come on up, John. Sorry. Put you right on the spot.
Okay, I promise this will be very quick. I was surprised to find when I was elected in 2015 that I was the first openly gay LGBTQ elected official east of the Cascades, both in Washington and in Oregon. So that was something of a milestone. It doesn't make me feel any different about my service to the college, which is a great, wonderful organization. I am grateful to be able to participate. But as Oz was saying, I really feel that the community is growing in the right direction. We're embracing diversity. We welcome what all members of the community bring to the table. And thank you for Pride Proclamation.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. So we'll go on to item B, volunteer program update, and let's pull